This is the new Ineos Grenadier, and it is a lot like an old Land Rover Defender, though it's not a copy of one, not at all, no, not for legal reasons anyway, more on that in a moment. What it is a hardcore utilitarian off-roader, a brand new one. It's the kind of car that fans of the old Defender probably wish that the new Defender was actually like. But it isn't, is it? It's a luxury lifestyle vehicle now. So there's now a gap in the market, and this Grenadier is here to fill it. And in this video, I'm going to explain all about this car. I'm going to take it off-roading, try it in various challenges. I'm also going to talk you through the exterior, the interior, and of course, explain what makes it a proper off-roader. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow. Let's start this video by doing some off-roading in the new Ineos Grenadier. So I'm going to drive up this slope. It's not the steepest slope, but it is pretty slippery. So this is going to test the car's ability to put its power down. Build up a bit of momentum so I don't start spinning up my wheels. Here we go, come on, come on, come on. Power, 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 power. Oh yes, oh yes, yes. Easily done. Now if I was going dead slow I might have got a bit stuck there because it really is very, very slippy, but that marched up there no problem at all. Very nice. Now we need to go down a hill. So this looks like a bit of a descent. Is it aggressive enough to test this car's capabilities? I reckon I could drive a hatchback down this bit, but let's do it anyway. Oh, maybe not actually. This thing has got ground clearance of 264 millimeters, and I can just hear some of the mud just catching on the underneath of this vehicle. So if I had been in a normal hatchback, I would have been stranded. But do you know what? I want to find a steeper slope to really push this thing. Oh, here we go. That looks promising. When this car goes on sale, it will have hill descent control, but because this is a prototype, it's not engaged. So what I'm going to do is just use the gearbox to help me down this slope. So I'm going to go to manual mode, go into first. I'm in low range for the gearbox. I'm going to let the engine just brake this thing down this slippery hill. Brake over angle on this, 28.2 degrees, pretty good. So we won't ground out coming down here. I'm going to lift off the brake and just let it do its thing. Yeah. Easy, easy, easy. Look at that. Oh yes, and there we go. Nice. Departure angle 36.1, so getting off that slope was easy. I didn't bottom out the rear end. Now, the departure angle on the new Land Rover Defender is slightly greater than on this, but only by 4 degrees. So, do you know what? I am going to go up that slope again, because I think I can find an even more aggressive descent. Let's whack it back into drive. So, approach angle, 35.5 degrees. Once again, Land Rover Defender, the new one, is ever so slightly more. That car does have air suspension though. Get some momentum up, because this is slippy. Here we go, this will test the brake over angle now. Come on! Come on! Yeah, that's just easy. I need a steeper slope. Oh, okay, this looks more like it here. So this slope is just like breaking away and I can't see the track. So it should be pretty steep. Once again, I'm going to go into manual mode and first. This is going to test the car, this is, because if it goes too fast, we might run into some problems with the approach angle at the very bottom. Hopefully I won't dig the nose into the ground, but here we go, off the brakes, just let it go. Come on, car, you can do it. Whoa! It's like a roller coaster. Oh my God, I definitely got away with that. That's impressive. That was so steep. I could see how if you weren't really like so used to off-roading, you definitely want the hill descent control to just do things for you, but it's pretty slippy. I'm not sure how much better it would have made it. Let me talk you through what makes the Ineos Grenadier a proper hardcore off-roader. So like the old Land Rover Defender, it has a traditional ladder frame chassis, and this one is super strong. However, unlike the old Land Rover Defender, this chassis is properly rust-proofed, so it won't rot out beneath you. Made out of steel. Oh yeah. The body panels on the car are actually aluminium, like the old Land Rover Defender. Now, moving down the side, you'll notice here we have coil spring suspension. The new Land Rover Defender has air suspension, which is great, it's lovely, but it's not so good if you're in the outback and something goes wrong with it. It's just more complex to fix. Speaking of complex, this is what makes the Ineos Grenadier modern. It has a modern engine, 2 of them actually. So you have a 3 litre straight 6 diesel from BMW puts out 249 horsepower and 550 newton meters of torque, or you can have a 3 litre straight six turbo petrol with 285 horsepower and 450 newton meters of torque. Now they're mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox with a torque converter. Obviously this has permanent 4-wheel drive, plus you have low range mode. You also have a central locking diff, and you get an electronically controlled locking diff on the front axle and the rear axle as well. Wow. Now all this does add to the weight. This thing weighs in around 2.5 tons, so pretty heavy, but it's tough, and it can tow 3.5 tons. Now one of the things that makes it really tough are these beam axles here. I mean, these are just absolutely solid, and beam axles are good for off-roading. They help you keep a wheel on the ground when you're going over the rough stuff. Now I'm going to test the Grenadier's chassis articulation and wheel travel. So first thing I'm going to do is drive through this ditch here, and the car will come with 3 differentials. So you've got a central locking diff, and then you've got 2 electronically controlled diffs, one at the front and one at the back. This car, being a prototype, yet again hasn't got those fitted, so I'm going to try and do it without them. And this is quite aggressive because it's going into a ditch, and hopefully, because I've got beam axles, the wheels that in the air pushing the wheel that isn't in the air down into the ground to get me some traction, but I might end up with a wheel in the air at some point. Coil springs are helping with the movement of the wheels. Oh look, see I've got myself a little bit stuck here. All right, I'm gonna have to give it another go here. I'll cock that up. Too busy talking to you, that's my problem. Right, let's give it another go. There we go, got it. Now, if it had the front and rear diffs fitted to it and they were engaged, it would have just walked through there. Absolutely walked. No problem with wheel travel there. Now I'm going to go up this side slope. I'm just doing this for the lols. Wow, this is quite scary. Scary but fun. I love off-roading, and this is a good car to go off-roading in. It's well capable. Now let's talk about the design of the Grenadier, and let's be honest, it does look like an old Land Rover Defender, doesn't it? So you've got round headlights there, you've got the stepped bonnet, that's the engine bay under there, huge rugged bumper. It's mean looking, but definitely Land Rover Defender-ish. And do you know what? Land Rover's lawyers, unsurprisingly, have been in regular contact with Ineos, and there have been a few court cases, but so far the judges have always ruled in the favour of Ineos. Reason being is this: it looks like a Land Rover Defender, but it doesn't look like a copy of one, and that's the key thing apparently. So they haven't ripped off the design. And anyway, with this kind of car, it's kind of hard to make it look different in a way. Obviously there are bits that are Land Rover, such as the curved shoulder line, but yeah, you want a rugged off-road, it's going to be this kind of square shape, isn't it? Because you're going to want a steeply raised windscreen, you're going to want big areas of glass, you want to be slab-sided, you want huge wheel arches, so you've got lots of wheel travel, you don't want massive alloy wheels, so 17s or 18s, you want to be able to fit it with big knobbly off-road tyres, you want chunky bumpers, you want cladding, you want all this stuff, and you end up with this sort of shape. Now there are things added to this car which are really clever. So you've got these tie hooks here and here, so you can mount things off it. You've got rugged, easy to operate door handles, chunky, solid feeling doors. Here at the back, you can fit accessories such as ladders and stuff. You can get snorkels for the front if you want to go through deeper water. But then there's some real modern bits, such as you've got like these LED lights at the back. Obviously, if you want a proper off-roader, you need a proper spare wheel, so you can get one mounted on the back of the vehicle. Once again, huge chunky bumpers, big toe points there as well. But this is one of my favourite features about this, and it's not a rip-off of anything. I haven't seen this before, but look, a split tailgate for a side hinge tailgate. So this is really cool for if you're, I don't know, towing or you're parked up next to something. Side-mounted tailgates can be a pain to open in tight spaces because they swing out such a way. With this, you don't need to. If you just need to chuck some stuff into the boot quickly, you open this segment here. Brilliant. I love the look of this thing. Looks purposeful. The final thing I'm going to do is really put this car's traction to the test, because I'm going to drive through some absolutely horrendous mud. It's basically a little lake that's just turned into a quagmire. Now I could go through the watery bit if I wanted to illustrate the car's wading depth, which incidentally is 800mm, so 100mm less than a Land Rover Defender, but you know, still very, very capable. What I'm going to do though is go through this absolutely horrendous bit of mud. I've got to keep my momentum up here because this stuff is sticky. And it's a good job that I've got a nice 6-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine with plenty of torque, 450 newton meters, pulling me through this sticky mud, keeping the momentum up so I don't get stuck. The all-terrain BF Goodrich tyres doing the job of just like keeping this thing moving. Now I'm gonna have to power up here to get up it because it's absolutely horrendous. Come on. Oh, come on, no. I cocked it up. I basically went off the bank, it bounced me to the left. That is driver error, utter driver error. Oh dear, sorry. Oh, that's so embarrassing. This is like the descent of shame, having to go backwards. What a moron. You watch this though now. So this is a real test because I'm gonna have to stop, which means I'm gonna have to start moving again. And that is the hardest thing for tyres to do in this kind of situation. So come on. Right, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a run up. So I've got some more momentum. I'm going to try not to bounce off the bank this time. Okay, come on Watson, you can do this. Come on Grenadier, I'm not going to let you down. Let's do this. Come on. Come on, here we go. Oh, why does it want to go that way? That's better. Yes! When you drive it properly, you can get up stuff like that. If you're an idiot, doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, you'll end up cocking it up. That was a lot of fun though. I enjoyed that. And I didn't do it on purpose just to have another go at it, right? This is a capable thing off-road. Do you know what? It looks like an old Land Rover Defender, but it drives more like a Mercedes G-Wagon. That's probably got something to do with the fact this prototype is built in the same factory that they make the G-Wagon. So that's a good thing. You've got a G-Wagon for half the price. I've jumped out of the prototype vehicle and into a pre-production model because the prototype's interior wasn't finished. This is much closer to what the actual production road cars will be like. It's very much like the last generation of old Land Rover Defender, especially with this centre console here. One thing that is different though is the amount of room you've got in here. So in the old Defender, you're always like bashing your arm off stuff. This has a proper window edge and it's quite nice material on top of there as well. And the design of the doors just feel modern and pretty good quality. Squidgy dash, nice steering wheel. There's actually two horns on this vehicle. You've got your main horn here and then a little quieter horn there for cyclists. Toot. Now I can't actually use the horns, they haven't revealed what they both sound like, but we'll look into that when I get the car in the UK. Now moving on, you know, the price of this thing starts from £48,000 for the commercial vehicle to about 53 for the normal road going version, the passenger car that I would probably want to buy, and I do quite fancy one. Now if you quite fancy one, you're probably going to have to sell your current car, and you can do that through CarWow. All you have to do is upload some photos, brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car to make sure you get a good price for it. And they'll come to your house, take the car away, they won't argue over price, they'll give you the money that was originally agreed straight into your bank account. It's dead easy. If you want to do that now, click on the pop-out banner up there for the link in the description below. Alternatively, you can do it at a later date by just googling "Wow Me Car Wow." Simple. Okay, let me continue about the interior of this car. So big infotainment screen there with lots of information. Actually, you can see the speedo is actually displayed there, a bit like on a Tesla Model 3, because actually this panel here actually just shows you warning lights and stuff like that. Bit of a shame that it doesn't actually have your speed, but there you go. This infotainment system comes from BMW, like the engine and the gearbox, and you can use it as a touch screen, but you know, if you're wearing gloves or your hands are wet and you can't operate the touch screen, don't worry, you've got the iDrive controller down here as well. And you'll notice, look, the gear selector there is very much a BMW gear selector, which looks a bit out of place with the more kind of rugged looking and traditional gear selector for the low and high range mode. Now, I was mentioning wearing gloves and stuff like that. That's why the controls on the center console are nice, big and chunky, so you can easily operate them with some big thick gloves on. And then there's some other controls up here, a bit like on an airplane. So you have things like for your diff locks and stuff like that, but also switches for your auxiliary items. So if you want to fit lights and stuff to the roof. Speaking of the roof, look at these. I like these little windows on the roof, these sunroofs, really cool. Really nice touch that is. And the driving position is really good, sit quite upright. You've got that short dash, nice vertical windscreen, great view out. You can see the corners of the vehicle, perfect for off-roading. And you've got practicality, so you've got decent door bins, you've got some cup holders there, you've got some storage under here. And look at this, a manual handbrake. Yes, which is handy for when you're off-roading, as it is a grab handle like that for your passenger to hold on to, and of course the handle to help them get in the vehicle as well. Seats are comfy, material feels nice. Yeah, I'm impressed with the interior of this. Here in the back seats there's plenty of room, lots of headroom, knee room is alright, foot space is adequate. There is a bit of a hump here because of the transmission tunnel, but you should be able to fit 3 people in the back, yeah. And you've got a 3-pin socket there and some USBs down here. Yeah, I could go a decent distance in the back of this, no problem. Finally, let's check out the boot. So look at this. See, that split tailgate does make it a bit more practical, doesn't it? It's quite a jump to get in here. Now, I don't know the exact literage because Ineos haven't announced it yet, but it's very spacious. Although these wheel arches do eat into the space somewhat. You've got tie-down hooks, you've got 12-volt sockets, you've got more tie-down hooks, and the rear seats do fold down 40, 60, but obviously look, you can see for yourself, can't you? Look, there's a big ridge there like that. Now that'd be a bit annoying if you want to put something heavy here then slide it to the front of the vehicle. Also, there's some big windows here in the cargo area, and I can't tell if you can get like a low cover so you can hide things underneath them. Otherwise, prying eyes are just going to be able to see in here, which isn't ideal. What's my final verdict on the Ineos Grenadier? Well, my first impressions are that it's really capable off-road. Also, it looks cool and it's nice, spacious and comfortable on the inside. I think this thing is going to be a huge hit with farmers, but also people who live in cities who want to cruise around in an authentic off-roader. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Let me know what you think of the Ineos Grenadier in the comments below. Click on those windows there for some more videos, and on that box there to go to CarWow if you're thinking of selling your car. All you have to do is upload some photos, brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car to make sure you get a great price for it.